Heyo, what's going on, everybody? IoT Nuggets. We're back with you. Doug Cohen here with Steve Brummer. Steve, how you doing?
Fantastic. Good afternoon.
I would expect nothing less. And this is episode 10. So this time we're going to be talking about channel sales or direct or both. Episode 9 was We Know Laura. So go back and check that out. She's a great network. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and bookmark the website. We'll talk all about that some more. But here's the other thing we want to make sure everybody is aware of before we dive into today's topic. We want to offer and make sure everyone is aware that Steve and John from BH are offering a free 30-minute consultation session to go over your IoT deployment and to talk about your execution plan and how the team at BH can help you achieve it. Okay, so 30 minutes, no cost. It's a good way to kind of do a little bit of discovery and get on track and see where BH can help you. Okay, so we want to make sure that's out there.
Yep. Thanks, Doug.
No problem. So let's dive into this week's topic. We're talking about the difference or the balance between hiring direct sales reps or going with channel sales for your go-to-market strategy. So, Steve, talk a little bit about those two options and where BH can help.
Well, in the IoT space, you have to try and figure out what the balance is and what the right approach is and who you're actually selling to. As we all know, direct sales reps do cost a lot more, right? You're paying that salary, you're paying the taxes, you're paying for all the expenses and everything else that is associated with it. But if you are really going to be subject matter experts and you're going after a specific vertical market segment, then the answer is you definitely should look at hiring a direct sales team. And it's, you're going to be able to, they're going to be fully trained. They're going to be totally focused in on the product, service, or offering that you have. But from a channel perspective, with distribution, as well as resellers, dealers, agents, solution providers, consultants, systems integrators, you do get a lot broader as far as them being able to do and offer more to customers within the IoT space, because you can't boil the ocean. You have to turn around and be able to look at what you're really good at. Distributors have their place. If you're selling widgets, someone should stock it unless you're planning on fulfilling directly yourself. The sales teams are trained by you. Sometimes you're pay to play from a distribution standpoint, and you have to have that budget for your marketing team to be able to do to pay per play. But a lot of that's going away. A lot of the major distributors are realizing that that model does not work. All of the distributors have a specialized IoT/mobility group that you can train them, and they can be the SMEs internally to all the sales teams at the distributor. But then you have other groups like some of the other integrators or some of the resellers that are out there, the CDW, SHIs, Connections, kind of Insight kind of companies that have unbelievably trained people that can actually be a great position for you. So you have to see what you have to sell. What's that targeted market? If you have pricing margins in there, because everybody wants a piece of the margin, who's going to be trained? How many people can you see at the same time? So some companies have a combination of both. And some have companies that have hunters and some have farmers, but IoT has to have a lot more glue. There's a lot of parts that have to be all pushed together. And sometimes the channel is the best way to go about doing that. And sometimes it's a direct sales team. So it's really it's a balancing act, and we help companies on either one. So we have had a lot of clients that have gone through the channel. We have helped them get into the channel, get the SKU up in the network, within their internal intranet network, and get them trained. So we have great relationships with the channel partners that are out there. But on the direct side, if you're really selling something specific into a specific vertical market that you can attack by being a direct sales team, then that's a great alternative.
So let me ask you a question, just a bit of a role play type situation. I'm coming to you. I've got this great idea for an IoT deployment, want to go to market with it. And we're in a discussion about how to go to market with it, whether it's direct sales or channel sales. And in my mind, as the person with this solution, I'm thinking, or the company with this solution, I'm thinking, how much of the people part of it and the structure and managing a team that actually is going to be on my payroll, that sounds like something I might not be set up for or prepared for. How much does something like that come into the equation when you're advising people on which way to go?
It comes around the money situation, right? So if you have the funding internally to be able to support a direct sales team, whether it's subject matter experts or direct sales, you also need SEs, systems engineers, and solution architects to be able to support those direct teams. So it comes down to funding. It comes down to the business model that you have and how you can afford it. Or do you really want to just outsource it to the channel and then have the margins built into your product through the channel to be able to support that there? But also remember, with the channel, they may have competing products or service offerings against you. And so you have to sit there and go, okay, how am I going to get a piece of the pie? How am I going to get their mind share? What's going to be the best way to be able to get them to focus in on your product versus the other guys that are out there. So you still have to have a channel salesperson that's on your direct team calling on those guys to stay on the top of the list, top of mind, and making sure that they know what's going on. So it really comes down to funding as well as your business model.
Great insight. That's great insight, Steve. And thank you for that. I think this was a great discussion.
Yeah.
And and
if you want to know more, just call John or I up or send us an email. Let's set up 30 minutes. We can talk about it. Go to BH IoT Group, or go to S. Brummer at BH IoT Group, or Jay Hubler at BH IoT Group. And we'd love to talk to you for a while about what you have and what your go-to-market. And that's also international too, Doug. So there's a whole different set of circumstances around international sales with IoT, because IoT is everywhere. In every continent around the world. And so those models may be different. So if, say, you're in Asia or Australia or Europe and you want to come to North American markets, we have that capability of being able to help you figure out what that go-to-market strategy is and whether a direct deal is better than an indirect deal.
Fantastic. Well, and you heard him say it, everybody, bhiotgroup.com. That's the website. So make sure you bookmark it. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching this on YouTube. And once again, we've mentioned this in the past, we are also looking for guests. So if there's a topic in the IoT space that you have certain expertise on and you want to come join us on the show, we'll give you a slot to join. Just let us know. Go to the website, fill out the contact form, and find a way to continue the conversation and take advantage of the free 30-minute consultation that Steve and John are offering up. That's really all we have this week.
Excellent.
This episode, I should say.
This episode, that's right.
We are sharing more than one per week.
That's right. You get 2 of these nuggets a week.
That's right. We're on a roll. So thank you very much, Steve. Join us next time for episode 11, where we're going to talk about how boiling the ocean is just plain silly. Don't try and do it on your own. All right, we'll talk more about that in the next episode. Thanks again, Steve, and thanks everybody for joining in, and we'll see you next time.
Excellent. Thanks, Doug.